of wide open skies and untamed horizons. One signal cuts through the wind. You're tuned into Alberta Radio, across the prairies to the Rockies. Here's your host, Jason LaFace.
All right, folks, like that little intro. So anyways, we're going to start off the show, and we are trying to promote my music. So this is what we're going to do. Play the track. This is me and Q. I'm AC3, Lies and Propaganda, Free Alberta, and then we're coming up with a great topic. So here we go.
Free Alberta. Let's go. Free Alberta. Let's go. Free Alberta. Let's go, 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 go. Free Alberta. Free Alberta. Let's go. Free Alberta. Control and propaganda, lies and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, lies and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, lies and propaganda, control and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, lies and propaganda, control 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 and propaganda, lies and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, control and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, control and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, 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 corruption and propaganda, lies and 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 propaganda, corruption 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 and propaganda, lies 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 and propaganda, controlling propaganda, controlling propaganda, controlling propaganda, controlling propaganda, corruption and 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 propaganda, lies and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, lies and propaganda, corruption, propaganda, corruption and propaganda, corruption and propaganda, corruption, control and propaganda. Let's go. Free Alberta. Yeah. Let's go. Free Alberta. Free Alberta. Yeah. Let's go. Free Alberta. Free Alberta. Yeah. Let's go. Free Alberta.
All right, so Thanks for tuning into the show. We're going to start off. So I've been putting up these weather updates every day on my socials, and we're going to put more every day. So we're trying to get those up before 9 a.m., between 9 and 10 a.m. But I like them, and they're looking good. So today we did some pretty good. We had double digits in the 20s right across Alberta, except for I think Fort McMurray and Banff, and Fort Mac's expecting to get 20 centimeters of snow. Ooh, right? Yeah. But I like the artwork. It's looking good. And then this man. So as many know, I am really harping on the city and politicians about the 4,000 homeless Edmontonians that we have here, and those are Alberta citizens, Canadians, right? And, when you run the statistics, and the statistics show that 0.1% is actually foreigners, and the rest 99.9% is all Canadians, there's a problem, especially when our mass immigration programs are housing foreigners over our own. Now, what's more concerning is Edmonton has the highest amputation rate in the country in terms of the vulnerable homeless population who, they face freezing cold in the winter, and then they get amputated and put back onto the streets. So this man here, I seen him a few times, him and his friend as well is amputated on one leg. So it really bothered me to see them both sitting, outside McDonald's, just waiting, just getting a coffee. And when you see a man in his late 60s, or in his mid 60s, sorry, and both limbs gone because of we can't help them, right? And I've when I posted the image on my socials, I've seen some pretty radical comments about it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because some folks end up losing everything over a simple life-changing moment. And that's happened to me. It's happened to many others. I've lived on the streets too, so I know what it's like. And I've lost a lot of friends along the way because of opiates. So I've always been a voice to try and find reason and solutions to this poverty pimp industry, which is, taking, we're cutting the limbs off of our citizens, folks. Like, what are we doing? And I want to present a solution. So I did write a report to the Premier, which I'm going to present soon. And yeah, look at Canadian refugees. So this really stirred the pot on a group. So what I did is I didn't post this on the Alberta Radio page because it's whatever. But there's this group in Sudbury that them and their friends had no problem putting my face up on polls in Ottawa and doxing me on a website, and and then plastering pictures of me in Sudbury, Ontario, and just they came after me, my family, my business. They did some pretty good damage. So I figured, yesterday, I'm just for fun, I did this image, right? So I posted in their left-wing group. Oh man, did I ever trigger them? Oh my God! But at the same time, it upsets a family member. So it's a joke, right? They can do it to us, but apparently I can't do it to them back. Like it's quite hilarious. Anyways, and then we have what was it? Yeah, Mayor. She Meyer. Yeah, she's. Hold on a second. Oh, Jay had the information, and Jay just doesn't write it down sometimes, and that's what it was. Eileen Wang. So, anyways, Mayor Eileen Wang out of California. She had to resign, and she got arrested. She might be facing up to 10 years in prison for espionage because she was an agent of China working in the United States. And we're seeing more and more of this, right? We're seeing absolutely more and more of this. It's concerning because we have Chinese interference here in Canada. Now there's this big debacle about Carney and this MOU apparently that allowed China to have police stations in Canada, and we've already uncovered a lot of those. So it just goes to show like what's really going on, and I think we should be arresting all of them, really, right? All of them should be getting arrested. And then on the flip side of things, it's interesting how they found a virus on a cruise ship at the same time 28 Disney Cruise Line associates got busted for child porn. Always look for the story they're trying to hide. And it's true. It's absolutely true. My wife asked me about, she goes, did you hear about that? And I'm like, no, because I've been paying attention to all this other stuff, right? And I was like, wow, man. Like when she showed me and I went and read it, I'm like, oh my God. Of course, it's just like COVID. And they were trying to push their little, we're going to lock you down. Thank God the state stepped it up. And I just want to say big shout outs to Mark Nixon. He had given us some shout outs about First Nations here in Alberta, and we're showing that it's a high percentage of First Nations. I mean, 46% out of the 141 that want to remain, and it's uncertain for the rest, but we definitely think that it's more than 50% of First Nation folks that want to support the Alberta independence movement. So I got a lot of signatures, right? I got a few hundred signatures all together, various Albertans, not just First Nations. But at the same time, I was out there on territory like other folks, and I mean, we dealt with it all. So on another note, we have the LGBTQ pride flags are now banned in Alberta, thanks to Danielle Smith in the UCP government. So this is a good step in the right direction, keeping radical ideologies out of the classrooms. And then CBC confirms they are behind media sting, targeting residential school narrative critics like Francis Widdowson. I'm going to play the video. I'm blown away. But in a way I'm not, because they paid a hacker before to hack the Give Send Go, and then they doxed Canadians after, and then a bunch of Canadians had their bank accounts frozen by the government because of that leak. So wait, we'll play this first. Yeah, and it's one of those Durka guys, right? Again. Oh man, this is in Sault Ste. Marie, folks. I got the video that I pulled it off the net today. Off X, I seen that, and I was like, wow, man, this is pretty crazy. So give me a second. I'm just going to fix this video. So this is a whole expose that's happening. So apparently APTN and CBC's behind this Psy-Ops sting of a fake documentary, fake company. And according to the information I got, this is what it is. So Igor Vanis is part of different activist groups, left-wing activist groups, and he formed some fake company called Forge Media. And the sole purpose was to target Francis in a made-up psy-op documentary, how did they say that? Social experiment without her knowledge, right? Now, they're finding out that this is tied to the CBC. I pulled the video, and this is Francis, just calling Buddy out. This is pretty interesting.
What's this about? Tell me what this is about. Who are you? This is a pile of shoes that I believe two Aboriginal people came and dumped on the table. This seems to be a setup of some outfit that's doing a reality television show that wants to paint me, I guess, as some kind of a racist or something that they're going to post on social media. What's your name, sir?
Mike Smith.
Mike Smith?
Yeah, I think you got it exactly right. You've defined it precise. Well, I wouldn't say exactly right. This is social experiment.
Okay.
And it's on video, and I'm on video too. So we're on video together.
Yeah, we're on video together.
Without her permission.
So I think that you figured it out, and now we can wrap it up.
Okay, but am I the target? Or you got other people, or are you just focusing on me?
No, you're not a target. No, you're participating.
Okay. What am I participating in?
This social experiment.
Okay, what is the social experiment?
You just experienced it. You could tell me.
Right?
You wanted to get me, Francis Widdowson, who is a known controversial figure. You wanted to get me to talk about my views in I guess, a candid way, which I told everything truthful. You brought two who are these Aboriginal? Were they Aboriginal? First of all, we don't know. I've met people who are Japanese, and I thought they were Aboriginal. So these are two Aboriginal people that you brought in?
I didn't bring Aboriginal people in now. I work for them.
You work for the Aboriginal. Who do you work for?
For them.
I work
Who is
for
them?
APTN, right?
Aboriginal
APTN.
people, Indigenous people that you're talking about. So yeah, that's the deal.
So there's an Aboriginal group that hired you?
I'm a TV producer.
You're a TV producer who an Aboriginal organization hired?
Not an organization.
Some Aboriginal people? Not affiliated with any Aboriginal organization?
That's correct.
So just a couple Aboriginal people hired this huge apparatus here. How many people are there here? There's like 10 people here. As a studio. How much did this cost?
Yeah, I think you know the answers actually because you're participating.
So you had to fly me.
Participating
so I was flown
without
from
any
Calgary
permission.
to here. I stayed the night in a hotel. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's at least 10 people that I can see in this room that are, and this is like wake up. So they're pretending it was a woke expose, and it's not. It's trying to. This seems to be trying to expose me, I guess. I'm quite amazed. I have been set up before. I guess I should have done more research about this, but still, I kind of take people at their word when they're doing this. Anyway, and this results in all these kinds of things. I was just set up by a person claiming to be a student at the University of Lethbridge. And of course that backfired in a big way because I have nothing to hide. I'm an honest academic who is trying to understand Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal relations. And I got to have two Aboriginal people, I assume they're Aboriginal, come in and glare at me like I'm this evil person who, has no business talking about this matter. They dump all these shoes on the table, and this woman who's there, unfortunately she's not there anymore. She was sitting in this chair, to be honest, I found everyone pretty smarmy. I found all the people being way too nice, which is kind of anyway. I'm not used to this kind of thing because I don't have these things happen. Okay, so just so that I can be clear about what's going on here, a few Aboriginal people hired all this huge apparatus. So you see this this large studio. The setup. This is the program. It's called Wake Up Canada. And then, are you from Canada? You're from Missouri. It comes out of Missouri, this program. You're in Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're a producer for a Missouri company that does these kinds of setups with someone who's an unsuspecting person, tells some things on camera, and then what are you planning on doing with all the footage that you've shot?
I don't know.
No.
But yeah, I think now that you were allowed to speak here, right? You spoke.
I did.
In fact, I don't think anybody else spoke at a certain point. It was just you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Is it going to be released in its entirety?
I don't know.
Okay.
But,
I thought it was a pretty good interview, actually.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I think you did get to say a lot of things that you've been saying. So,
But I don't quite understand what you're gonna do with it. Like I'm happy for you to publish it widely and whatever. But
yeah.
what is I don't understand what the context is. Like what is the program where it's going to be released on?
I'm so sorry, you've got to miss your flight if you don't.
What time is it right now? I'm already checked in.
You're checked in, but there's traffic.
Yeah, but it's like
5:34, but
it's 8
yeah,
o'clock.
So
It's going to be 8 o'clock. My flight's at 8.
if you want, we can continue the conversation later. I'm perfectly happy to call you and talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know why we can't do it now.
Just,
You're alive right now. This
okay.
is being streamed out live.
Great.
Yeah. Good for you.
It's fine. It's all good.
I've got nothing to be ashamed of. I just don't like being lied to, which I guess I was lied. Well, I'm not sure if I was lied to. I guess I was lied. Well, I was given a sense of it was something different than it was.
Yeah,
But that's kind of part of the thrill of it, I guess.
I think it's trying to get at the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a different kind of discourse, a different kind of dialogue.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were the one speaking and nobody else was.
Yeah.
But that's not true. There was an interview.
The John A. McDonald guy was talking, but he's a plant, right?
A plant.
Like he's
I
not.
mean, he's an actor who's been trained to perform as John A. McDonald.
Okay.
He actually trained with an expert, like the foremost John A. McDonald impersonator
Yeah.
in the country.
Oh yeah.
He did, yeah. But he's sort of a younger generation, so.
Okay.
Wow.
But does he believe the things he's saying, or is he just saying that just to kind of egg me on?
Well, he's in character. He's an actor. So
Yeah.
He's in
he pays attention
character.
to his
We paid
craft.
characters
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Huh. Well, this is
All right.
okay. All right. I think I've. Yeah, I don't really care about that at this stage.
Have you got everything?
I do. Okay, let's go. This is this place here. Yeah. All right. Okay. Hey, people. No, I'm fine, thank you. Here we are. I'm just going to do a bit of a live stream here. So this is the studio that I was called into. Had a bunch of social media stuff go on. I was under the impression that I was going to be like I guess I was sort of seen as an honored guest here, which I guess I am. It's just a different kind of context. But anyway, I got nothing. I'm happy to. Anyway, this is just the setup here.
You definitely were the honored guest.
I know.
All right. Smear campaigns by the CBC and APTN. Well, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting they do this kind of crap. But anyways, on a different front, in Calgary, oh yeah. But then, okay, so the premier comes out with this, which is I thought was quite interesting.
So, Premier, what is your message on this special day?
Well, Wahuguru Ji Ke Kasa, Wahuguru Ji Ke Fate, and happy Vaisakhi to everyone. I'm just overwhelmed at how
Vaisakhi.
incredible this community celebration is. Every time I come, it gets bigger and bigger. I think I heard 140,000 people this year, and the mayor of Calgary, he said that it might even now be bigger than the Calgary Stampede and how
And
many
that should
people
be
take
concerning.
part. So that's an incredible testament to the strength of the community and inviting in the broader Calgary community. And so we're grateful to be part of it today.
Thank you. And the Sikh community has been doing a lot for the development of the province, and on your part, on your government's part.
Yeah, coming
you
in
have also
droves
contributed
and
a lot
building
to
houses for you and not
Well,
for
I
us.
can tell you, when we had Sikh Heritage Month, which we just came off of, seeing that the history of the Sikh community goes all the way back to before Alberta was even a province. Sikhs have been here growing and building Alberta from the very, very beginning, and that's part of the reason why we want to continue to see the Dashmash Cultural Centre grow and build. We're giving $125,000.
No, not that there's not a problem with having Sikhs or other people come in the country, as long as we're doing it responsibly. But we're not doing that responsibly. You know, when you sit in front of an establishment, okay, every day. Every day I go pick up my wife for work, right, from work. So I sit there in front of the store and I'll count how many of them are versus how many of us. So I include all white Caucasians, so that would be like Italians, Ukrainians, Russians, whatever, okay, and then I include Asians because Asians have been here for quite a bit in the West Coast. But so what I do is I just look at how many people are from the Middle East and how many people are from India versus how many are the rest of us. And when they're dominating, you know, when I'll sit there and I'll count and I'll be like, oh wow, okay, so there's like 30 of us and there's 70 of them that you counted, and like within 15 minutes coming in and out of the store. So when you see that kind of stuff and you're like, well, we got a problem, right? We do. There's too many of them. So I'm putting together a video about the infills around my area, and it just goes to show, like, we have all these empty units. Well, who's coming in? Because we have so many homeless, right? But what's really more interesting is we have politicians who are continuing to pander to those voters because they know that they're losing support within their own base. And that's what I think is happening. I've seen a video the other day of the AGM for the UCP. And when Jeffrey Rath stood up and stated, you know, hey, we want to be an independent Alberta, I mean, you had half or 3/4 of the UCP AGM, you know. Now it's, I think the Premier's a little bit scared and might be wanting to pander like Justin Trudeau. We'll see. I like the UCP and I do like the Premier, what we've been doing. We've been doing some great work. It's not to chastise or anything. But I agree that we shouldn't be doing, you know, plain Mr. Dress Up. Right? You come to our country, respect our country. So that's just the way I look at it. That's just me. Anyways. What was next? Oh yeah, I wanted to show my report. Let me get that up. Okay. All right, so Operation Homeward Bound. Let me see if I can get that up a little bit better. There we go. So this is my report I sent to the Premier in regards to the 4,000 homeless. And what I did is I looked at some current UCP policy changes that are really helping with the addictions. So I figured I'd put this plan together. It's a 2-phased plan, which if we were to tackle homelessness today and put all hands on deck, we can reduce 45 to 50% of homelessness within 3 months and the rest within 12 to 18 months, leaving a percentage fluctuation of 7%, reducing down 100% of the homeless to 7%. So basically I called it Operation Homeward Recovery, and this is for audits for accountability, treatment first, you know, all-in-one centers, jobs, reintegration, re-education, but at the same time putting in enforcement of a rapid sweeps. What I mean by that is we go in and we sweep out organized crime and get rid of it. 2 sweeps, it sends a strong message to everybody that it's not going to happen in our town anymore. You're not going to kill people. So my table of contents, I put my executive summary, the problem, the fragmented funding, the demand for independent audits and accountability, and we compared recovery models, why ours stands out the most in Alberta. The proven UCP foundation, so their Alberta recovery model is actually effective, so we want to use that, right? Now we have a proposed 2-part solution for Edmonton. We have cost analysis, projections, efficiency, assumptions, and comparisons, and we save $200 million a year if we do it this way. Now we want governance, accountability, enforcement, and a call to action. So I'm going to go through it real quick. So as we know, maybe you don't know, but we have a count by the name list. So it's a BNL list, and what they do is they count how many on the list, how many homeless. So there's 4,850 on the list. And right now there's 3,902 people in Edmonton experiencing homelessness, and it might be more than that. And this was pulled by from the 2024 report. We couldn't get their latest numbers, and that's 55% increase from 2020. Now this plan, it costs about $530 million annually, just in Edmonton. Now the problem is the crisis keeps spreading. It's not just that; it's the crime, and it's affecting businesses, public safety, residents, safe spaces. And the Alberta Recovery model has proven to show a 35 to 38% drop in opiate deaths and overdoses. So what I'd like to do is use the report and propose a two-phase centralized all-in-one solution. So combined with robust enforcement to achieve the 85 to 90% reduction in visible homelessness within 1 to 2 years at a projected $200 to $350 million, saving us $200 million a year. And I'm a dedicated UCP member, so I'm asking the government to give us this project to go. So I break it down, how it's fragmented, and when we have $430 million that goes to basically two major cities, right? And most of the time it's going to mostly to Edmonton, but the city of Edmonton has $92 million that basically goes out to 28 other agencies, which I know that has ended now. The provincial government stepped in, but the point I'm getting at is it's more money, no solutions, right? You're not getting nothing in return. The performance based is not there, so it's just people getting salaries. And when you see that it's just rising and it's just more money, well, then we need to do something. So we're asking for a independent auditor general and third party review of all the major recipients from 2018 to 2026, including Homeward Trust, Hope Mission, Bissell Center, Boyle Street, and any Indigenous-led organization. Now, looking at the Indigenous-led organizations, we found that they're getting a lot of money and they got a lot of homeless. Who's getting the money? So we want to do focus areas, outcomes versus spending, administrative overhead, duplication recovery rates, and grant compliance. So we want to do this where we can have a public report within 6 months with reallocation recommendations. So basically reallocate the funds to people who are going to show performance and a return on the performance. And that's where we go into shift to performance-based funding with clawbacks to failure to meet KPIs. So 70% plus 1 year housing retention, and that reduces the by name list inflows. Got an itch. So annual public dashboards will be there so everybody can look at it. Now, we go in and here you see where the organization, so Boyle Street, okay, multi-million dollars, millions of dollars went to them. They only served 54 of the 200 planned clients. That's 1/3. Okay, not even 1/3. So here you have multiple organizations, and they got a share of the $223 million, and they have a record that was in 2024. Right now we're over 4,000. So that tells you that it hasn't reduced, it just goes up. And I have people who are contacting me from these organizations, keeping anonymous, and telling me about how people are getting paid as managers and directors, and they're all making six figures. The managers are not making six figures, but the directors are. So it's money over lives. Now, the comparison recovery models, why our approach here in Alberta stands out. So our recovery model, which has dropped 35 to 38% in opioid deaths and overdoses than any other treatment program around the world. Anywhere. BC, it's just shooting up. Ontario's just shooting up. They don't care. And U.S. housing, well, U.S. housing is a little different. So they're actually stabilizing. Now, what we do with showing the UCP that I'm aware of the Alberta recovery model and how much it's doing right now. And they're already committing 2,750 plus beds province-wide So that can ease off, but if you combine Calgary, Edmonton, and all the other cities, well, we're looking at quite a bit of folks that are homeless. Now, we have, they have the cornerstone of recovery. They have $350 million committed for 11 communities, 700 plus beds for for the bigger communities. And they get to support 2,000 plus individuals annually for treatment. And this is mostly for the 5 centers opened already. This is Red Deer, Lethbridge, Gun near Edmonton, Calgary, and Blood Tribe Indigenous led. And there's 6 more coming online next year. Now, what I'm proposing right now to rapid track this problem, because we have too many people on the streets, right? Phase 1, so this is where we can propose a reduction in homelessness within 3 months, within 90 days. And I say 0 to 12 months, but it's really 90 days. So what we do is we prioritize the folks that are already on a waiting list for homes. Okay, so that's families first, disabled, and the elderly. And we designate current infills. There's infills that are multi-unit, empty, that could house a good portion of these people on the list. And considering that the federal government gives this money to the municipality, and the municipality is jerking us around with this, giving 90% kickback to the developers, there's a criminal racket going on with this program. So I think that we need to get the province to step in with the audit and reassess and redesignate the funds so that it helps with this. We can set the money to go right to those infills that are not making any money, house people right away, and we got 40 to 50% reduction in homelessness within 90 days. Now, phase 2 is going to require a build, or look at infrastructure we already have and create all-in-one centers, and that's where we put all hands on deck. So it's a recovery and reintegration center, meaning that they come in for recovery. We retrain them, we reintegrate them, give them aftercare, we give them, transitional housing for the time being, everything. It's all in one. And the other thing too with this program is we're going to use the enforcement strategies and the compassionate enforcement to make sure that people, I hear this, well, nobody's going to do this. Not everybody wants this. Well, those folks who say, I don't want this, and I don't want to quit using drugs, or I don't want to quit, they're not sound of mind. Okay, so we have to acknowledge that. They're not sound of mind. So there's a mental health issue there. What I'd like to do is use the compassionate enforcement guidelines and just have people assessed, and if they're not sound of mind, well, we get them treatment, get them the help they need and medication that they need, get them to see the psychiatrists and doctors they need, and reintegrate our people back into society. These are our citizens, so we have to care, right? Because we're caring about everybody else first. So anyways, so this is where my robust enforcement strategy comes in. The other thing with this all-in-one recovery thing is recovery center is Stanford Medical University has an informed tapering program that is, if people follow it, we can get people off these hard drugs within 18 months, easy, and even sooner than 12 months. The problem is we have these doctors and methadone clinics that keep patients on long term, and they're not even following the right guidelines that they were taught. So again, breaking the rule. Now with this, we wanted to re-educate and use the city use the city for job placements and reintegration, so that we can get people, if we have to get places to clean up and do the lawn, parks that need the lawn done, instead of contracting out, we can start using this program to utilize so we can get people back into the workforce, and they'll feel better about themselves. Now, the rapid response sweeps. Now, I think we should just use whatever intelligence we have, large-scale rapid sweeps, do 1 to 2 of them. It's going to send a clear letter, a clear message to the Edmonton street gangs and organized crime that, you killed too many people now. It's time, I don't understand how you guys can be in your own business to kill people, but at the same time, it's enough. Like, we got to care for our own, and I think that we need to shut it down. They did it back in the 90s for pot. So this is fentanyl and hard drugs, right? Now, we want to do the Compassionate Intervention Act, which is, we expanded on that, and I just said that a little earlier. Now, the Intervention Commission would be there to review applications and submit or issue orders. So if someone, let's say, we get somebody off the street, we assess them to see if they're sound of mind. If they're not sound of mind, then that's where we revert power of control to the states so that we can get them help in a treatment center and transition to reintegration. Now, the plan orders are up to 3 months in a secure facility if you break the law. That's what I understand from this. But it's up to 6 months in a community-based treatment facility if you didn't. So this is where we want to use the Compassionate Intervention Act and, include it in the facilities. So include it into these one-on-one centers, and they're already using it with the 100-bed Compassionate Intervention Centers in Edmonton and Calgary already. So it's not like it's new. And again, the I don't want help mentality, I've already addressed that. So what is it going to cost us? Well, right now it costs almost $500 million, well, 400 and change in Edmonton. It would cost us less than 300 million, maybe 300 million versus 400 to 500 million. We're actually saving 100 to 200 million dollars and doing it this way, and we're solving the issue. As you see, we would save 100 to 200 million dollars annual in net savings and break even, and we would break even from the program in 2 to 3 years. So the assumption is we can solve homelessness and expedite the recovery rate and bring it up to 70 to 80%. Bulk procurement and utility partnerships reduce costs, and 30 to 50% of current fragmented budgets reallocated. So governance, accountability, and enforcements, which we make sure that there's a citizen provincial committee with transparent KPIs and quarterly reporting. Now, we want to make sure that everything that we do is based on performance-based funding. So if you're going to apply for funding, we want to make sure that you are already performing. And you perform and you continue to get funding. But if you're not performing to show a reduction in those folks that you're trying to help, well, we're going to cut you off. I think that's what we should be doing. And we have enhanced police roles. So implementation of the emergency resolution for rapid sweeps, full utilization of the Compassionate Intervention Act, including for those refusing help due to impaired capacity, and dedicated street teams, combining enforcement, compassionate incentives, and sustained presence in high crime areas. Now, there's ways to get people to participate without using force. I can tell you that. I've always said, community gatherings and stuff. So let's say there's a concert. We can get the homeless to a concert and sell it to them. It's not hard. People will do it. Trust me, I was homeless. Believe me, it would sell. So now the call to action is provincial municipal partnership. What I'd like to see the province do first is to audit the city and where the monies went, and then form a partnership with somebody new that's going to take the lead. We're asking for the lead. Now, I sent this out to the Premier. I've sent it out to Naheed Nenshi. And we're just waiting to find out if we'll get a response, right? So there's that, which I'm pretty happy that I wrote that. I mean, I really care. I mean, I'm just tired of seeing people suffer on the streets. But when you find out that there's over 4,000 people, like, whoa, right? Anyways, I did get a hold of Jesse for YAG yesterday, so I got to get a hold of him today. But we are planning on doing a tag team coverage of Edmonton. He's going to show me some stuff. And I tell people to follow Jesse because Jesse has a really good platform, and he's done a lot. And he educates people about the history of Edmonton, and he cares about Edmonton just like I do. And he's very knowledgeable. So I'm I'm really looking forward to doing something with him this week. It's gonna be awesome. Anyways, I'm just going on my list now. And the province is stepping in for the bike lanes, folks. Thank God. Oh, one more thing. Okay, so let's talk about the Parker with the Centurion. I don't know the guy. And thank God I never installed the app or had anything to do with it. But I will say this. Apparently he's not complying or not, he's either not complying or not working with the requests of Elections Alberta. What I think that story is just an extra smear job, because yes, the Elections Alberta did give him a cease and desist prior to this debacle happening, and all of that's coming out now, and I'm just trying to, like, it's just unbelievable. But I will say this, folks, look at, don't let Naheed Nenshi and the NDP scare you about this list, because I'll tell you right now, it's hilarious, because you've been hacked 42,000 times since January via the CRA. So I'm just saying, right? Just saying. Oh, man. But anyways, right? So I'm just going to, there was, no. Yes, this one. Oh. No. There we go. So we got some more singles we're going to play. I'm going to end the show because we're pretty much done, but I did want to play one of our new other singles that we have. We got some really good stuff. Just saying. This one is for the poverty pimps and for the left, right? Like, here we go. Here in Alberta Radio. Don't forget, man, smash that subscribe button, folks. Follow us on X and Facebook, and subscribe to Facebook. If you want to get a hold of me with shoutouts, requests, shoot me an email, jason@albertaradio.ca. I did get, folks, those of you who sent me emails for your music, I did get it, and we're going to be doing something with that this week. So don't forget, 24/7, albertaradio.ca. And here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Elbows down, ass up. Say it loud, never back up. Elbows down. Yeah, elbows down, ass up. Dress as clowns, acting tough. Talking big with your mask up. Keyboard freaks never match us. Elbows down, ass up. All your problems, you blame Trump. Doxed us online with your bullshit. Chasing kings with queens, fucking pedo shit. You quote books you never read past page 2. Copy paste text, call it a peer review. Marching in the streets for your fake coup. You cosplay terrorists in the rainbow crew. You cry for equal rights, but it's just for you. Burning our national flag, you fuck you too. Your protests are funded by globalists, only to sympathize with terrorists. Now hating the people with the giddy up crew, always foreign issues, they don't care about you. Yeah, elbows down, ass up. Dressed as clowns, acting tough. Talking beat with your mask up. Keyboard freaks never match us. Yeah, elbow down, ass up. All your problems, you blame Trump. Doxed us online with your bullshit. Chasing kids with queens, fucking pedo shit. You want plans where the math don't add up. Promising free drugs while the bodies pile up. Dressed to state with they offer maize, while sending the billions off to Ukraine. You so love that greed while everyone tense up. Freezing in the cold, waiting to amputate up. You say love wins, yeah, you spit your twist. If anyone doubts you, we're all fascists. The brainwashed minds by the liberal lies. What will it take to awaken your minds? Yeah. Elbows down, ass up. Dressed as clowns, acting tough. Talking big with your mask up. Keyboard freaks never match us. Yeah. Elbows down, ass up. All your problems, you blame Trump. Doxed us online with your bullshit. Chasing kids with queens, fucking pedo shit. Hands out, down out, big plans, more crowd. You want the crown, skip the climb. What now when the lights go down? You just log out. Elbows down, ass up. Dressed as clowns, acting tough. Talking big with your mask up. Keyboard freaks never match us. Elbows down, ass up. All your problems, you blame Trump. Doxed us online with your bullshit. Chasing kids with queens, fucking pedo shit.